Olajuwon. He was in the top 10 in 5 categories: steals, rebounds, block shots, scoring, and shooting percentage. You know what I mean? To have a big guy of his size to be in the top 10 in steals. Now you can assume that he would be in blocks, which to me shows versatility of what type of guy he really was.
I'll never forget, we was playing against the Rockets one time. I think this was my first or second year. And Hakeem Olajuwon, who I believe, along with Michael Jordan, are the only 2 people I've ever been on the court with, and Kobe. Those 3 that I felt like were the best player on both ends at all times. That could play above the rim, around the rim, in the paint, but also just attack you with all of their moves and their skills.
You played with Hakeem, played with Shaq, played with Duncan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to include Kobe in this. The question I'm going to have is, you can start your team with Hakeem, Shaq, or Duncan.
You know, you have to give me a year. What year?
In their prime. In their prime.
I got, I love Dream. I love Dream, but he's always going to be the better player of the 3. But if I'm a starter team, I got to go with Shaq, because Shaq is just so freaking dominant. You look at the year he won MVP. I don't think there was a person in the world that could guard him. You'd have had to, go in the lab and make up a player to guard him. He was just so dominant, for that 1 year, But if I have to go for longevity, I have to go with Dream. I know everybody, in San Antonio thinks I'm a San Antonio hater because I don't pick Tim. Tim is a hell of a player. But for me, the guy who took me under his wing and mentored me, the guy I grew up loving, Hakeem Olajuwon, I have to go with him. I'm not going to take Tim Duncan because he's younger than me. I ain't going with nobody younger than me.
That was Hakeem. Now, how many people were scoring? How many? That's him.
Jesus.
He's Christ. You on the defensive end at 6'10" with Blake Griffin's young athleticism. That's who he is.
That's impressive. I heard something about Hakeem that I think is even more impressive than anything he's done. But I heard Hakeem owns like half of Houston. I heard he's a real estate guru. And I don't know if that's true or not, but if that is true, and he's a real estate guru like that, the fact that he is that, you don't hear anything from him. You don't see anything. And so the fact, I've heard that, and then you
heard it right.
How
Olajuwon Corporation is real. And the crazy thing is, he started it in college.
Really?
He was living in a townhome in college. He gets drafted by Houston.
Yes.
And his first purchase, he bought the condo that he was in. And then it just so on and so on. Then he moved, got out, he is the most underrated wealthy man in the NBA. Underrated, his wealth of not only that, but just his business savvy. And to have that kind of mindset he's always had. I've never walked in a room or to his house or to anything and said, man, what is this dude doing around Hakeem? Never that. His company that he keeps, you're like, man, can I know you? Can I get to know who you are?
So fast. Yeah, he did. You know what? Hakeem was probably the person that told Michael Jordan he should play baseball. They're probably out drinking one night. Hakeem was like, you know what? You're great at this basketball thing, but I feel like there's a real future for you in another sport. Be the first champion in 2 professional sports. You can do it, Mike. You might have done the basketball thing. And then when he left the bar, Hakeem was like, yeah, I got that dude.
You get drafted to a team with Hakeem Olajuwon. What was that experience like going on as a point guard, then going to play with the Dream? What was that experience like coming right out of college and then going and play with the Houston Rockets?
It was so, it was so ironic, man, that you watched him for so many years. Now you're his teammate. And I remember the first day of training camp. So I didn't see Dream all summer. Back in the 90s, guys used training camp to get in shape. Training camp was a whole month. So you had a whole time to get in shape. So I'd never seen Hakeem Olajuwon the whole summer. So the training camp, the first day of training camp, he was out of shape. And when preseason came, man, I was like, wow, man, he ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't that good. Not knowing that the veterans use training camp, get their body going and get their mind together.
Mm-hmm.
So our first couple of preseason games, we was terrible. I mean, he had like 5 points, like 5 rebounds. And I'm like, man, like, this team won 54 games last year. I know we ain't this bad. Now, I understand it's preseason basketball, but I really don't understand it's preseason basketball because in college, we had exhibition games. You go hard.
Absolutely.
You go hard. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't go hard, the head coach had something for you later on.
Absolutely.
You know? So, and I never understood, like, man, I asked him one day, I was like, Train, like, what's going on, man? Like, after the 4th game, we like 0-4, getting blown out by 20 points every preseason game. Blown out. I was like, what's going on? And it was so simple. It wasn't even a thought process to him. He said, Sam, they don't send these stat sheets to New York. And I was like, what are you talking about New York for? Like, what? I'm gonna send stat sheets, not knowing the league office is in New York. You know, not having a clue, like, what are you talking about New York for? Didn't understand. So I asked Kenny Smith that. I said, that's a gift. What are you talking about, man? He said, Sam, the popcorn ain't popping yet. The stat sheet's not real yet. So fast forward, open the night. Now, we 0-8 in preseason. We had 8 preseason games back in the day. We 0-8. Our average loss was by like 16, 17 points.
Jesus Christ.
And man, when them lights came on, open the night, I could not believe what I was witnessing. We played the Golden State Warriors. I'll never forget this. Man, this man had like 38, 14 rebounds, 6 blocks, 7 assists, 3 steals. He was in every category, man, that he was leading every category. Blocks, steals, everything. And I asked him after the game, I said, Dream, where was that in preseason?
Mm-hmm.
And took a small piece out. He said, it doesn't count. This counts. The popcorn's selling right now. It's ready. It's time to go. And ironically, we went 18-0. No, we went 21-0 to start the season off. 0-8 in preseason, went 21-0 to start the season.
Hakeem, have you had a chance to work with him?
I've worked with him once. I wanted to work with him many more times, but like, you know, he's a busy man.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first year. When we worked together, I was so surprised how he's moving like that still.
Still looks good.
Yeah,
huh?
like still, you know, like that spin move he does still is like faster than me. 1 hour, 1.5 hour practice together, and he teach me a lot. I was doing spin move a lot, but not with the face-to-face and then do spin move. He like helped me with that, and then I started doing that like spin move and like hook shot, you know.
There's a little rumor circulating about Hakeem that he actually charges $50,000 for a workout.
I heard that this summer with Giannis.
Are you sure? Is it because he's busy or is it because it's just...
I just heard, but I don't know if it's true or not.
So you didn't pay the 50?
No way.
I don't blame him though. He like, man, these cats is getting that money.
I mean, if you did pay it, he might be able to charge more now because, you know, that's spin move.